race day. We're all loaded up. We got the four-wheeler, got the Duramax, of course the race car. About to set off on our 2-hour trip to the track in Oklahoma somewhere. We're gonna go to one closer to here, but they ended up being closed this weekend. So gonna give the car its first run and see how it does. Also gonna see how we do, because Corey hasn't raced in a long time and I've never raced. So I'm a good driver, so I'm sure I'll do fine, but I've heard it's a little different whenever you first get out on the track and everything kind of hits you all at once. So we'll see. Took it out and packed the track. Corey's gonna run the first hot lap and the first heat. So far, there's only one other tuner car here, so it might just be us and that one guy, unless the rest of them show up, which there was only 5 that were supposed to show up, but so far there's just 2, us and them. So Corey's adjusting the straps for himself because they're currently adjusted for me. Bombers. Got the bomber class about to run now. Thoughts?
I'm ready. A little bit hotter than I thought it'd be, even though the sun's down, but it is what it is.
Yeah, suit's pretty thick.
Yeah, and I got a cut-off shirt under, just like Guy does, but
yeah,
we'll see what happens.
All right, Corey's up. Doing a voiceover because I'm too lazy to do captions. I want y'all to keep in mind that this is just a hot lap. It's not an actual heat. And also, this is Corey's first time on the track in 6 years. So he's a little rusty. And also, it's a new car. We also noticed right away that the car is geared a little bit tall, especially compared to this Cavalier he's running with. So we're probably going to go with some shorter tires. Watch that turn, watch that turn. Or maybe a 5-speed swap eventually. But again, the whole point of us coming out tonight is just to test out the car. So we're really not too worried about being faster than anybody else or anything like that. So basically what's happening is, since there's only 2 of us, there's only 2 4-cylinder cars, they're going to put us up with the other cars that are only slightly faster, and it'll be fine, right? Orange broke out and now he's back in it, so perhaps he's going to run. So basically the tuner class was running its own lap while the bomber cars were running their own lap at the same time on the same track, but not competing with each other. So, and also the guy driving the Cavalier didn't want any part of that, so he sat out for this run. So Corey said he's just going to focus on running a good, consistent lap, find a good line, because really that's why we're here, is just to see how the car's doing. The last race was kind of I mean, it is what it was, but again, we're just here to try out the car, really. Green flag is down. hugging outside the bank now. He said he wasn't happy with his line before, so he's trying a little different this time. Whoa. Got a yellow flag. Wonder why we got a yellow. Oh, well, that doesn't look right. Rear end broke on that 97 car.
The Corps gonna win after all.
Yeah. You say it again?
I said he's gonna win after all.
Yep.
So what's going on right now is that the other 4-cylinder car said he doesn't want to run with the bombers, which are the beat up G-bodies. So it's just me and 2 other G-bodies. Well, we made it like a lap and a half, and something had broken the rear end and the drive shaft spit out of it. So now it's just me and 1 G-body, which is the bomber. In this instance, they're really cheap, beat up like small block Chevy, probably a 305. So they said that they're only a little bit faster than the 4-cylinders. Not this one. This one's pretty slow. But I don't know why old buddy, nice guy, decided that he didn't want to run. He said he doesn't want to run with the bombers. So I don't know. That means we're in 2nd place right now. We would have been 4th, now 3rd, now 2nd. I don't think I can beat this other car, but we'll see. I'm just trying to learn my line. It's been roughly 6 years since I've raced 4-cylinders, or dirt track in general. The car is doing good though. The track is changing every single time I go out.
Okay, track is clear. Green flag is out. Here we go. Sure sounds cool. Got a little side. Uh-oh. Whoa. Attaboy. Last lap. There goes our mud flap.
That was way better. You don't know how long I've been waiting for this. Woo, about to make a name for myself here.
How long I've been waiting for this. Woo, I'm about to make a name for myself here.
I don't think you guys walk away from this.
You just make sure people know what happened here today.
I want you to know what had happened here today.
We lost our front right mud flap, by the way. I was telling YouTube, telling them we lost our...
Yeah, because both front struts are a little blown, and it was literally grinding into the ground, and it was hanging off, so we had to rip it off. So it needs a right front strut, and it needs shorter tires because the gearing is terrible. It has to have second gear, because first gear is just all over the limiter. But second gear, if you don't go fast enough, long enough, in and out of the turns, it starts bogging. Well, not really bogging. It's just not in the power
just
band
not
because it's not a VVT. So
That's a 4-speed automatic Camry for you, though. Even the VVT ones, I own one. That's just how they are. But I mean, it looks cool and it sounds cool. And I feel like if we could get some a little more competition, we'd be able to compare it with the rest of the competition a little better. But that's the thing. We just had one other tuner car show up tonight, and he was really fast.
And the only time we ran it was me running him when I did a terrible lap because it was the first time I had ran in 6 years, so we had nothing to really go off of.
Yeah. All right, we're just watching these post-hocs or whatever run while we wait for our next turn. There was a big crash over here a little while ago. Pretty interesting to watch. Our goal is to get into one of these cars eventually. Look how they slide through the turn. We're watching some more races, and this Camry's dominating. Obviously not actually a Camry. Got a yellow. Kids on these go-karts. Look at them go. He's going just as fast as a tuner car, probably. Whoa, he's sketchy in that turn, but he's got it. Look at him. Okay, so now it's my turn. And what they say about, like, you know, you can watch videos and you can be a good driver on the streets and all this other stuff, but once you actually get, like, in this environment, it all kind of hits you at once. Everything they say about that is true. I'm nervous, but anyway, pretty soon here shortly, I'm gonna be making a run. I'm probably not gonna be running with the tuner class because of the way things are going. We'll explain what happened there later on. But anyway, so I'm up next.
Okay, so we didn't explain what's happening already. Guy is in with the Bombers, which are a little bit faster than the 4-cylinders, and we are the only remaining 4-cylinder. So all he's got to do is finish the race, and in one piece, and we win by default. But winning is winning.
Something like that. Sorry. 98 is Courtney Phillips. Corey Phillips. Sorry about that.
It's actually Guy Garrett. Hilarious. I guess that'd be my female name is Courtney. The track should be really good for him now.
Yeah. They've got a lot of rubber on them now.
For some reason, they did like 1,000,000 staging laps, but it kind of worked in my favor because I got to feel the track out a little bit, and also got to just kind of get comfortable in the car. So it kind of worked out.
It's a monkey. Oh yeah, here, ripping out the little Polaris Ranger pace vehicle. One more parade lap. Getting them warmed up. Just keeping them pace good. And they're gonna drop the flag. There you go.
I took it slow because, as Corey said, we had already won at this point, so all I had to do was finish the race and not crash, and we take home the trophy. So I was just trying to fill the track out, knowing I didn't have any competition going against me, so I just kind of used it as a time to learn the track and learn how to handle the car on the track. And then once I got a few laps in, I started getting aggressive. Now this was the feature run, and it was a lot of laps. It was probably like 20 laps. I don't really remember, but it was a long run, and I may not show all of it. But my technique that I kind of figured out as I was getting a feel for it was to try and stay on the inside as much as possible. It just seemed like it worked better for me that way. I didn't really want to go over the bank or into the wall, so I like the inside. And Corey's thing was to kind of stay on the outside, because he thinks if you go faster, longer, and like you're able to maintain more speed on the outside of the turn, which, yeah, I mean, both of them make sense, but my thing was stay on the inside, approach the turn as fast as possible, lay on the brakes, kick the car sideways a little bit, and just aim it for the tires basically. And that's what worked for me. So
Can't tell. It almost sounds like the transmission slipping. Or maybe it's just getting in the power band. I can't quite tell. Last lap. Well, by unspeakable means, here we are in winner's circle. Circle? I mean, we are on a circle technically. This is pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. We just built this car, or built.
You can still smell the fresh.
You can still smell the paint, and it got its first win on its first night, which again, unspeakable means.
A win's a win.
We'll explain here soon.
What'd you think, boy?
Okay, so before this video ends, we just want to clear some air. So the whole point of this race, there wasn't any money to be won. It was basically just kind of a charity race to support the family of a kid named Colton Carver. I think that was his name. Passed away with cancer. So the whole point of the race was to, just kind of be for a good cause, and the only winnings to be made were the trophies. So with that being said, there was only 2 tuner cars that showed up. You mentioned that in the video, and there was only like what 4 or 5 bomber cars that showed up, which is slightly faster class than we are. They're V8. They're built on old G-body chassis, and they're just little small block 305s, 350s, and they're really not that fast. So not a whole lot of slow cars showed up. So we had the first tuner race, and it was just us 2, and I guess when they found out it was just us 2, that's when they decided they were going to put us with the bomber class. And
It was actually just a hot lap. It wasn't a race.
yeah, actually, he was the one that drove, and it was just a hot lap, and we immediately saw that he was way faster than us. His car is set up way better. I mean, of course, he's done it a lot longer. This is our first night out. His first night out in 6 years, and my first night out, period. And it was the car's first race, so, and we talked to the guy, and he was friendly, and he understood what we were doing. We kind of understood that he'd never been to a track, so we kind of talked it over with him, and we all found out that we were going to be running with the bomber class, and none of us were too crazy about it, but we also didn't know that there was only a few bomber cars, so once we found that out, we were like, okay. But the other guy, he didn't even do it at all, so that's why Corey ran alone in the bomber class, and then
The second heat of the bomber class, because there's 2 different heats. One had main cars in it, the other had the extra cars in it, which was supposed to be 3 bombers and me and Cavalier, the other tuner. And one bomber didn't show up, and then the other tuner didn't show up at all because he said he didn't want to go with the bombers. So it ended up being me and 2 bombers. And of course, you saw in the video, one of the bombers broke like a lap in. So then it only ended up being me and 1 bomber. So by default, I won the first heat lap.
Yeah. So then all the other cars ran, all the other classes ran, and it came time for us to go again. And then between the time that he ran and the time for us to run again in the feature, which was the final race of the night, the guy in the other tuner car ended up just loading up his car and leaving. So by default, we had already won. We had already won. But so all we had to do was run in the feature and not crash and make it out in one piece. So that's when I drove, and again, my first time on the track, I did pretty good, I'd say. Anything to say to that?
No, my first practice lap out, first hot lap, I think he did better his first race than I did my first hot lap. Of course, the track was a lot worse then, but we both need some more experience. So
yeah, track conditions, it was great. It was nice and it was grippy everywhere except turn 1. It was a little bit slick going into turn 1, which you may have heard. It might have sounded like the car was slipping the transmission as I was pulling into that turn, but no, it was just spinning. He even said it in the video that he thought the transmission was slipping, but it wasn't slipping. It was real slick right there, so the wheels were spinning. But yeah, I had a good little run and didn't crash, so that's just it. We took home the trophy by default, but I mean, winning is winning, and I'm super pumped about it. And, when you don't give up, that's how you win, Now, we did have a few issues though. On the way there, one of the tires in the trailer blew out, and then on the way back, the engine in our truck actually blew up. So we had problems with the truck pretty much the whole time, but
like 40 minutes of the drive home. So
yeah. All in all, we had a good night. It was a lot of fun. We're looking forward to doing some more racing. There's a few little things we want to do to the car. Front struts are both blown, so they definitely need to be changed. We might put some smaller front tires on it to help with gearing, because it's a 4-speed automatic and it's geared a little bit tall for what we're trying to do. You might have heard the whole time it was running, it's kind of in its lower RPM, so maybe some smaller tires will help with that. I'd like to do a 5-speed eventually, because that's one of the things that the other tuner car had that we didn't. He had a 5-speed. He was in his good RPMs the whole time. I think that was working in his favor, and that might be the good one. It's about all